Hey guys, welcome back to True Space. This is Harith, the medical astrologist, and today we're going to be speaking about the importance of circadian rhythm in our life and how it actually works and what is it actually based off. But first, you have to understand how your body has its own clock, how it has its own calendar, the same way how the physical world has its own time, has its own calendar. The interaction between our own body time, our own calendar, versus the external world time and calendar creates and affects a lot of the biological processes that happens in your body, and we get affected through circadian rhythm primarily through the light which comes from sunlight. And there's other ways that our body gets circadian rhythm gets triggered, like food, eating food late or eating food early in the morning. But one of those most important factors that determine our circadian rhythm is the amount of sunlight we get and when do we receive that sunlight, because we receive different amount of sunlight, different positions where the sun is. The amount of sunlight that we receive when it's in the morning, it's different when the sun is in the late afternoon or it's in high noon. So those are different amount of lights, and each of these lights have different amount of effects in our biological body. So one of the main things that you want to do to maintain your health both physically and mentally is to understand how to maintain your circadian rhythm, match your own calendar, your own timing with the world time and its own calendar. And you know that by yourself, that's important, because every time you don't have a good circadian rhythm, you always wake up dysfunctionally and you end up always developing some sort of disease, sickness, or that. And you also know this is can be true because everybody, for some reason, they prefer to follow the natural circadian rhythm, which is basically people waking up with the natural sunlight and going to sleep when the sun goes down naturally. And this is how majority of people work, and that's how majority of life been working. But us as humans been creating technology and things like that, which helped us create blue light, which allowed us to stay up later at night, as opposed to being just like the animals who see sunlight in the morning, they get up, and when the sunlight goes down, they go down. Even though there's some nocturnal animals that live at night, but humans are a little bit different. Now, as a human being, you gotta understand how your physical body is the representation of a calendar, is a representation of physical time. Your human body is made up of the 12 houses or the 12 zodiacs that we see in the sky or in the universe. So your Aries, the first house, is your brain and nervous system. The second house, Taurus, is your hormonal endocrine system. The third house, Gemini, is your respiratory system. All this creates your spring season. This is the organs, this is the body system that you use as a spirit, as an observer, to give birth, to create things within your mind. The spring season that happens within your body, representative by different physical organs and biological process. After that, we have the summer season, the fourth house, Cancer, the lymphatic and immune system. Then you got the fifth house, Leo, the heart and the circulatory system. Then you got the sixth house, Virgo, the digestive system. After the summer season is done, you have the fall season. You have the seventh house, Libra, which is the kidneys. The eighth house, Scorpio, which is the reproductive organs. And you have the ninth house, Sagittarius, which is the muscular system. After that, after the fall season, you have the winter season, which is the 10th house, Capricorn, the skeleton system. The 11th house, Aquarius, the meridian system. And then you have the 12th house, Pisces, which is the integumentary system or the skin. So all these body parts, all these organs are representative by different houses, different zodiac signs that has different correlation to certain period of time. So some of these organs or some of these body parts work better at a certain time, and some of them work negatively at certain times. So the whole point is to learn how to correlate your own mind, your physical body, with the external world, the physical world. So you don't experience any dysfunction, and you actually learn how to ride the wave of life. But before I get to it, I want to mention some Hermetic principles that you should keep in mind. The principle of mentalism. Everything starts with the observer creating thoughts and feelings. Every thought, every feeling that you create in your mind, that's you as the observer looking at it. But we as humans, we're not trained this way, so we get lost in our thoughts and feelings, which create our mind. A lot of us, we think we are our mind, but we're not our mind. We are the observer looking at our mind, and then that's how we filter life through. We filter life through our mind, which is made of our thoughts and feelings, and then we see it as the observer. But if you want to see life clearly, you just gotta observe as opposed to get lost in your own thoughts and ideas. The principle of correspondence, which is as above so below, as within so without, distance and closeness, which I was talking about, and the whole point of astrology and things like that, about matching body parts and different times in the sky with what you're doing, so you get better results. This is literally what they mean by magic, necromancy, and this is everything they were teaching back then, Middle Europe, Spain, everywhere. Occult, mystery schools, the churches, Jesuits, and things like that. The principle of rhythm. Everything has a flow and a tide. You understand by default because work has a flow. You work amount of certain hours. When you do things, you have a certain rhythm. Rhythm make things easier. When you're out of rhythm, you act dysfunctional. You don't understand how to ride a wave. A dance has a rhythm. Music has a rhythm. Life has a rhythm. This is why you want to have a rhythm for everything, like a plan, like a thing, a wave to ride. The principle of cause and effect. Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. So everything you experience comes from something, and every effect has a cause. Very important. So right now we gonna get into breaking down the hours of the day from an astrological perspective. But I want you to keep in mind when we think about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or the term spring or the term Aries or any different terms that we use for space. All these are different terms for different mathematical position in space that we gave name. We just kept changing the name. At some point it was the first house, and then at some point it was Aries, and then at some point it became the beginning of spring, and then at some point it became from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. But it's all the same thing once you understand the energetic frequency that backs up the energy. The 12 houses play out both psychologically, biologically, and astronomically, like I'm saying. So each house, each sign has a psychological ramification, a biological ramification, and also an astronomical ramification. So the spring season deals with giving birth to thoughts and feelings, giving birth to new ideas. Just think about the spring season from an astronomical perspective. What happens? Trees grow, flowers grow. You see things coming back from the dead. That's the spring season from an astronomical perspective. How does it work from a biological perspective? The spring season is made up by the Aries, your brain and nervous system, Taurus, the hormonal system, and Gemini, the respiratory system. All these help you to begin the processes of all your body. These organs, these body system, they're the spring part of your body. Psychologically, they have psychological ramification also, but we're gonna get deep into it. So the spring season deals with giving birth to thoughts and feelings, but we have to break it down each part. So Aries is the beginning of spring from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. The initiation of new visions and imagination. This is wake up time. This is the time to externalize yourself into existence. What do Aries deal with? They deal with the initiation of new visions and imaginations. This is the period of time where you want to wake up, you want to have a goal in your mind, you want to have a flame, a vision. Majority of people who wake up early, these people, they have a goal, they have a business, they have something very important on their mind to do. This is why they want to give birth to it at this time. So if you want to give birth to things, you want to match the time that you wake up around this time, or you want to try your best. This is the best time to wake up. After Aries, the beginning of spring, we got Taurus, the middle of spring. This is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is after you initiate the visions, the imagination, the goal. Taurus deals with being fixated on receiving something practical. So after you figure out what's your vision, what's your imagination for today, this is the time where you decide to add practical energy to it. Be fixated on it. Use the earth element. Now you want to be practical on it. I want to do what makes sense, what makes money, what create materialism. Because Taurus deal with our value, our possession. But this is also the time where you might want to eat your breakfast or be also preparing to work. Because Taurus is ruled by Venus, and a lot of people like to say Taurus are foodie. They love to eat food, and this makes perfect sense why this would be a great period where to eat breakfast and to prepare to work. And I'm not here saying that you can't eat breakfast at Aries time, but what you're gonna see is how all these match each other and how they're all correlated. So Taurus, the middle of spring, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. being fixated on receiving something practical. Gemini, the end of spring, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The communication and thinking in a very flexible, adaptable way. This might be break time or this might be even lunchtime. So at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., after you giving birth to your visions and your goal in Aries time, and now you decide to be fixated to receive fixed practicality about your visions. Now this is you utilizing mutable air, adaptable air to communicate with people that are around you, because that's what like Geminis like to do. It deals with close proximity communication. You might be speaking to your coworkers, you might be making fun of each other, you guys might be throwing jabs. You start to communicate early. This is the time where you start getting alert, and this is the time where Mercury, ruled by Gemini, kicks in. This is when you start thinking, communicating, and things like that. After that, we got the summer season. So what we said earlier, that was the spring season. Aries, Taurus, Gemini. So summer season deal with pondering or exalting of our thoughts and feelings. So the spring season deals with giving birth to thoughts and feelings. The summer season deal with you exalting these thoughts and feelings. So you're gonna take these stuff from the spring season and exalt them, focus on them, ponder on them, because the summer season is think about the summer season. What happens in the summer season astronomically? People go out to have fun. People go to the beach. People want to go to the party. People want to go to rave, music concert, meet their friends, entertain themselves, jump on their ego, and things like that. Their Leo type of energy, or the summer type of energy. So this is what the summer season breaks up into. It breaks up to Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So Cancer is the beginning of the summer season. 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. the initiation of new feelings and emotion, aka creating comfort zone, creating meaning and reasoning behind how you feel. Lunchtime. So after you went through your spring season, you gave birth to your vision, Aries, Taurus, you decide to be practically fixated on it. Now it's Gemini, you're communicating about it, you're analyzing it. But now it's summer season, time to exalt these things, time to add emotions coming from Gemini time. So right now you're sitting back, creating comfort zone for yourself, trying to make yourself feel comfortable, giving meaning and reasoning things to your surroundings. This is why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. This is a period of time where you and your co-workers might be trying to make each other feel comfortable, communicating about why you guys work together, why work makes sense, why you guys need to make money, and just being trying to be more emotional, as opposed to Gemini being more Mercury communicative, thinking, jokey, trickster like. This is lunchtime Cancer. This is when you start adding feelings, emotion to things. And I noticed at this period of time, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., you're gonna deal with a lot of things that might be family related, domestic issues related, or things like that in general. Your mother might call you, your family might call you, you might be texting your family and things like that. Cancer time. After Cancer time, beginning of summer, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., we have Leo, the midsummer, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is self-entitlement time. This is being fixated on your visions, goal, and exalting them. So after Cancer time, you give birth to new feelings and emotion to make yourself feel comfortable about work or your surroundings or your family matter. Now Leo time, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is the time where a lot of people are preparing to go home after around 4 p.m. or so. So this is the time where people are working really hard. People are excited. People are even entertaining work, even because Leo deal with the entertainment, not only being self-entitled. And this is the period of time where you're being fixated on your vision, your goal. Whether your vision is to continue working on your business or your vision is to finish work as soon as possible so you could go home. Now, from Leo midsummer, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we go to Virgo, end of summer, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. This is analyzation, practicalization, of your routines and patterns, but in a flexible, mutable way. So after you did all your spring season, you gave birth to new thoughts and feelings and your ideas, your goals, your desires, or whatnot. Summertime, now you exalted these things. You gave them extra emotion. You added Leo energy. Right now, this is Virgo time. This is the harvest time. This is the end of the spring and summer. Virgo time is where you sit and harvest. What did you receive? What was your manifestation from the springtime to the summertime from an hourly level? Did I do my routine? Did you do your checklist? Very Virgo like. Did you complete everything? You're just trying to sit back and see did you do work that makes sense? And also you could call this period of time harvest time. This is why Virgo, the sixth house, is associated with the house of bread or the house of harvest, because bread, think of bread as our manifestation, and if you don't work in the morning, you have nothing to eat at night. It works both physically and metaphysically. The fall season, so you're done your spring season, giving birth to your thoughts and feelings. Right now, the summer season, you finished pondering and exalted these thoughts and feelings. Right now is the fall season, reflecting or letting go of thoughts and feelings, the left hand path. So there's no longer in the morning masculine energy. Right now we're speaking about nighttime feminine energy. So the fall season deal with Libra. It begins with Libra, the beginning of the fall season, which is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. The initiation of communication and balancing your relationship. Time to leave work or maybe enjoy Venus-like things. This is a period of time where you most likely ended work and you're calling your friends, you're hooking up with people, you're trying to deal with your relationship. You might want to meet your friends at the bar and things like that. After Libra time, the beginning of the fall season, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., we have Scorpio. Scorpio is the middle of the fall season. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Being fixated on an emotion that deals with behind the scene, occult, sex, transformation, death. So after Libra time, you figured out what relationship, what you want to balance, who you communicating with, who you want to connect with. You might have called your friends to play ball or go to the bar or whatever. Now Scorpio time, this is where you are being fixated on an emotion that deal with being behind the scene or occult. So at this time you might be pondering on some sort of thing that happened in the morning, springtime or summertime. You're pondering on that. You're pondering on the feelings and the emotion. Your boss might have fired you. Your friends might have made fun of you, or a lot of things. So you're already now Scorpio time. This is where you're sitting back. You're pondering on these things. You're meditating on them. You're trying to see the behind the scene world and the occult. You're trying to understand. But also this is the time where a lot of people wanna hook up and have sex and which makes perfect sense. Sign you're coming from the Libra time, dealing with initiation of relationship and communication and balancing your relationship. They also call Libra, from a larger astronomical perspective, monthly as the cuffing season, and to Scorpio, this is like when you hook up time. So cuffing, Libra, Scorpio hooking time. But also I wanted to mention that Scorpio time could be seen as the early stages of the REM cycle. So the REM cycles deal with different stages that allow us to have a deeper sleep, and each part of this cycle is associated with different type of sleep. There's the early form of sleep and there's the deeper aspect of sleep, but we're gonna get into that sooner. So after Scorpio time, the mid of the fall, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. After now you're done being fixated on that emotion, dealing with sex, occult, and mysticism, or you might even have transformed it, figured out what's that thing that's happening at the behind world. Right now, Sagittarius time, the end of the fall, 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. This is being mutable with your imagination and extracting spirituality and wisdom from what you experience. So what did you experience? You experienced the whole morning from spring season all the way to the summer season. So this might be you at bedtime, in your bed, looking at all your experiences and trying to come up with broad conclusion about reality and philosophy and what happened in your experience. Did you learn? Did you not learn? What you're gonna do? And typically you're gonna be daydreaming around this time too, because Sagittarius is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, but the Neptunian aspect is gonna make you be almost in the dream world. I like to call it daydreaming. around this time. If you're not already asleep, you're preparing to go to sleep, or you're thinking about very delusional like things, something Sagittarius are known for, or fire signs are known for. Now, after the fall season is done, you decide to reflect and let go of all these thoughts and feelings. Right now, it's winter season, physical death, but spiritual ascension through thoughts and feelings. So, this is after basically, if spring season is done, you gave birth to these thoughts and feelings. Summer season is done, you pondered and exalted these thoughts and feelings. The fall season, you reflected and decide to let go of these thoughts and feelings. Right now is winter season, where you experience physical death, which is sleeping, and you essentially completely let go of your thoughts and feelings. Now, you may not even be, you might be awake at this time, or you may not be awake at this time. Majority of people prefer to sleep at this time, like at least your parents, your grandparents, and things like that. Capricorn, the beginning of winter, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. The initiation of new structure, practicality, working late hours. So people who work from 12, there's people who work from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. These might be where you start your night shift because you're very serious about work. You might you may not get paid as much in the morning, so you decide to work late at night. This is very Capricorn like, very I don't want to say business, but very money hungry like. So this is why a lot of people prefer to work at night time, because if you know, people get a lot of companies, they offer higher pay at night as opposed to morning, because obviously companies, they understand working late at night could be dangerous for your health. This is why they create incentives for people to get paid higher. That's very fitting for Capricorn 10 house, your status, what you focus on. And you may be someone who owns his own business, so you might be someone who working very late hours, which make also sense. After Capricorn time, the beginning of winter, 12 p.m. to 2 a.m., this is Aquarius time, the middle of winter, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., being fixated on logic, knowledge, or revolting, or being workaholic, or being half asleep. So if you awake at this time, you fixate on some sort of ideas. You're doing something, and essentially, since Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, the planet of revolting and things like that, you're essentially revolting against what majority of people view as normal, which is sleeping as opposed to sleeping in the morning. And a majority of people don't like stay up late at night. Very revolting, very Uranus like. You may even be one of those people who's still working at this night. So this is you being a workaholic because you're fixated on some sort of thought idea that nobody knows about. And this is also you being half asleep, since Aquarius energy deal with you being, since it's fixed air, fixed thought. They could take one idea, one thought to a whole another realm. This is why this Aquarius energy is associated with being abstract. So you might be half awake, half asleep. You may not even be known at this time. After Aquarius time, we got Pisces, the end of winter, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Being flexible with receiving dreams and illusion. So this is the deepest part of the REM cycle. Majority of people don't experience dream in every single stages. We actually experience the heaviest part of our dream. We experience it at Pisces time, 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. This is the deepest part of your REM cycle. This is where you experience your dreams, your illusions, and things like that. Like, I can't tell you how many times this is the period of time where you actually have dreams. And you could also think about it as witch hours. Like, a lot of people like to associate witch hours with nighttime, especially if I'm going from 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are like witch hours. Right now, I want to look at some examples of different cultures and their circadian rhythm, or different clocks they came up with, and you're gonna see how these different clocks actually matches the astrological wheel. So right here, this is the Chinese medicine circadian rhythm clock. So as you can see here, from 7 in the morning to 9 in the morning, they call this earth time, stomach. This is the time where you want to eat, you have a good concentration, and you want to walk. But think about why it's associated with earth. It's most likely associated with earth because Taurus energy, and also is associated with good concentration. That's because of the Aries factor coming up from the morning. Spleen, clear thinking, and the spleen converting food to chi. That's because Taurus, they deal with Venus, and Venus deal with food, and a lot of people like to eat around this time, like to eat in the morning. And I have to mention this. A lot of people, some people, they skip breakfast and they don't eat the entire morning. They prefer to eat later at noon, which makes sense because Your whole goal is basically with fasting in the morning is to take all the spring season energy to focus on giving birth to your thoughts and feelings, your goals, your business and things like that, as opposed to eating food and making your body focus on food digestion as opposed to giving birth. So it's all about energy management and correlating different time. But right here from 12 noon, fire time, what do we see? We see the heart, the circulatory system, and we see the small intestines, which make perfect sense. At this time, what do we have? We experience Cancer time, Leo time, since and they work. And what do we know about Cancer and Leo? Leo, the heart, is the heart and the circulatory system, and Cancer is the lymphatic and immune system, which also deal with the digestion. So this makes perfect time. Why would they say eat lunch, highest amount of energy, blood circulation, small intestine, absorbing your food, low energy time, and nap time too. When we go from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., this is water time. Bladder, the kidneys. This is around Libra time, even Virgo time, the digestive system. Just think about, always keep in mind how each zodiac build on top of the other. They all work together. It's almost like a wave factor. They all rely in each other to start so they could benefit of each other. So water time, this is Virgo, and this is, even Virgo is an earth sign, but it's a mutable earth sign. So it's mutable. But this confirmed the Libra factor where your kidneys start working harder. After we go below the horizon, this is nighttime, 7 p.m. We got precardum, protection time, light reading, sex, and self love. And what happens around this time? Fire time. This is Scorpio time, the eighth house time. The eighth house time. This is where you focus on everything behind the scene, the occult, the mysticism. And it's kind of funny since Scorpio is ruled by Mars, which is a fire planet. Kind of funny, why would they call this time of? Why would they add the fire element to it? It's also associated with the endocrine, metabolic rate, balancing, getting good sleep, which makes sense. Now at 12 midnight and 2 a.m., gallbladder, liver, what time? Which make perfect sense. This is Capricorn time, and Capricorn is an earth signs, and we know earth signs, they deal with the gallbladder, but they also deal with the liver. And after that we go to 4 a.m. This is essentially, this is Aquarius time. And in Chinese medicine, they put metal, which is a little bit different from astrology, since astrology deal with fire, air, water, and earth, as opposed to having metal as an element here. So you can see where people have their agreement and where people have their differences. But if you look at this clock right here, the circadian rhythm clock, what happens here? This clock perfectly matches astrology. 6 a.m. in the morning, sharpest blood pressure and everything rises. Makes perfect sense. Your body start waking up. Aries time, secretion of serotonin, makes perfect sense. After Aries time we have what? Taurus time, the hormonal system. So it makes sense for your body to start secreting hormones. After that we get the bowel time. This is you eating. This is digestion time. But also after that you get testosterone secretion. All this is dealing with earth energy. Earth energy deal with food. It deals with our hormonal system and things like that. 10 a.m. right now, high alertness, makes perfect sense. This is Gemini time, a Mercury time. Now after that we get, after 12 noon we have the best coordination, makes perfect things. This is Cancer time. After you're done giving your add, so you start adding the emotion, your meaning and reasoning. This is the summertime. This is your peak performance, exaltation. Fastest reaction, Leo time, your greatest cardiovascular and muscular efficiency. Strength time, makes perfect sense because this is going to be Leo time too. And Leo rules what? The heart and circulatory system. After time, we got the highest blood pressure, makes perfect sense because what's after Leo? We got the kidneys, Libra time. And after Libra time, what do we have? We have Scorpio time, which is the time where melatonin gets secreted, which is kind of funny since Scorpio rules this period of time, and do we know Scorpio, the eighth house, oppose what? Taurus. And what does Taurus deal with? It deal with the hormonal and the endocrine system. But the reproductive system gotta work with the hormonal, Taurus, the second house, the hormonal system, for us to have our hormonal function. So they work together through an opposition of axes. But either way, after that we have the bowel movement, which makes perfect sense at this time, since Scorpio, they sextile Virgo, the digestive system, and they all work together essentially. Bowel time, this is time to release waste, getting rid of waste and things like that. After that we got midnight, deepest sleep, ZZ time. This is you going to sleep world. That's it, you're going to Pisces, the dream world. And then right here they say what? They say the lowest body temperature, which make perfect sense because this period of time is essentially is winter on a micro level, and we understand winter deal with low temperature, so it plays out through your physical body as having the lowest temperature at night when you're sleeping. This is why it's easier for you to sleep at night when your body's colder versus when your body is hotter. Heat makes your body wake up versus cold allow you to go to sleep. Either way, this is the video. Thank you for listening. If you would like to check out any of our services, go to our website. Thank you.